Everyone hates Erebus. Good, because the most loathed man in the Horus Heresy did nothing wrong. He didn't accidentally cause the heresy. He executed it. One stolen blade, one wound on Davin, one moment where Horus is dying, and the Imperium's future is suddenly up for sale. And here's the part you're going to hate. Erebus wasn't the monster in the story. He was the most honest believer in it. Give me a few minutes, and I'll prove he didn't ruin a perfect empire. He exposed a fragile one. Erebus isn't a warlord. He's a chaplain, a political priest in power armor, a professional believer, the word-bearer's top preacher, the man whose job is to turn conviction into obedience. So what does he do? He finds the single most important weakness in the Imperium. It's not orcs. It's not Eldar. It's not even chaos. It's trust. Because the Imperium runs on one fragile fantasy, that the Emperor's sons will always obey, even when they're kept in the dark. Erebus steals the Anathame from the Interex, a blade with the right kind of poison. Not poison for the body, poison for certainty. And that theft doesn't just spark a conflict. It snaps a rare, delicate thread of diplomacy in half. It proves the Imperium can't touch a different way of living without turning it into ashes. Then Erebus goes to Davin. He doesn't need an army. He needs timing. Horus gets hit. Horus goes down. Horus is dying. And Erebus steps in with the most lethal weapon in the entire setting. A solution. A soft voice. A sacred lodge. A ritual that promises salvation. That is how you topple an empire in Warhammer 40k. Not with strength, with a choice. Because when a demigod is bleeding out, you don't have to sell him treason. You sell him survival. And Horus takes the deal. Because the Imperium trained him to. That's the part people never want to admit. Erebus doesn't invent the heresy. He uses the Imperium's own operating system against itself. The Emperor built a machine that runs on blind faith, then outlawed faith. Erebus didn't break the machine. He found the override. The Emperor builds Primarchs like weapons, then treats them like tools. He demands absolute faith in his plan, then refuses to share the truth. He raises sons who crave meaning, then tells them meaning is illegal. So when Erebus whispers, he isn't inserting alien thoughts. He's amplifying the hunger the Imperium pretends doesn't exist. And once Horus cracks, everything cracks. Because Horus isn't just a general. He's the emotional center of the crusade. He's the standard everyone salutes. He's the one voice other demigods actually listen to. Erebus doesn't need to corrupt 18 Primarchs. He only needs one, the right one. And here's why Erebus did nothing wrong is the most offensive take in 40k. Because it implies the heresy wasn't a freak accident. It was the logical outcome. A galaxy-spanning conquest built on silence, fear, and loyalty as a leash was always going to explode. Always. Erebus just chooses the moment. He lights the fuse with a smile. Then he does what the best manipulators do. He makes everyone else think they're acting on their own will. Horus thinks he's choosing justice. Lorgar thinks he's choosing faith. The traitor legions think they're choosing freedom. But all of them are walking through doors Erebus opened. And the hate for Erebus gets even hotter for one reason. He doesn't stop. When the heresy is already burning, he's still scheming, still climbing, still purging rivals. He murders Argal Tal because Argal Tal would have pulled Kharn back from the edge. Erebus doesn't choose brotherhood. He chooses outcomes. He provokes monsters and then points them at targets. Even Kharn, the embodiment of violence, beats Erebus into the dirt. We all cheered, but Erebus is still winning because the heresy is already burning and he's still alive. And everyone can sense it. This isn't random evil. This is calculated. Erebus is what happens when belief becomes a weapon. He turns prayer into policy. He turns sermons into sabotage. He turns loyalty into a blade you slide between someone's ribs while they're still saluting. And that's why, in the logic of the setting, he did nothing wrong. Warhammer 40k is not a universe where the nicest person wins. It's a universe where the clearest believer wins. Erebus believes harder than anyone. He commits cleaner than anyone. He lies better than anyone. He times it better than anyone. And he proves the final, unforgivable truth. The Imperium didn't fall because it was weak. It fell because it was built wrong. Erebus didn't destroy a perfect empire. He revealed what it really was. So pick a side. Was Erebus the genius who outplayed demigods and exposed the Imperium's rot? Or was he the most poisonous individual in human history? Drop your verdict in the comments. Nothing wrong or burn Erebus, and tell me exactly why.